Senator Patrick Burns by Ryan Lee. Senator Patrick Burns was born on July 6, 1856 in Oshawa, Ontario, but spent the majority of his life in Kirkfield, Ontario. He was the fourth of 10 children in an Irish Catholic family. Because he had to help out on the farm cutting firewood, milking cows, and cultivating potatoes, Patrick Burns had very little formal schooling, but learned a great deal about hard work and thriftiness from his parents. One summer, he helped chop wood for a neighbor so that he had the funds to move west with his brother John. His neighbor couldn't pay for his labor, so instead, Burns was given 2 oxen. He made double resale value of the oxen by selling their meat and byproducts. This was just the first significant step on his journey to becoming an entrepreneur. Patrick and his brother reached what is now Kenora by steamer. He was afraid that his savings would run dry by the time they arrived, so they walked the rest of the way to Winnipeg. Since 1885, he started to buy and sell his own cattle. Thanks to his former classmate and co-worker, William Mackenzie, Burns was given an opportunity to provide food for Mackenzie's laborers constructing the railway line. In 1890, he moved to Calgary. 8 years later, he built a packing house in Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton, Prince Albert, and Regina. Because he acquired large tracts of land, he was able to ranch on a large scale. In 1899, he opened a second abattoir to replace the first one that had burned down. The Calgary Herald described this event as the passing of yet another milestone on the road to Calgary's full measure of prosperity. 2 years later, he married his younger wife, Aileen. Although he had great success in business, he was not fortunate in his private life. A couple of years later, they separated but reunited to oversee Aileen's medical bills when it was discovered that she had cancer. In 1912, he arranged $100,000 with A.E. Cross, A.J. McLean, and George Lane to create the internationally renowned event. As one of the Big Four Western culture kings, his contributions have had a major part in the birth of the Calgary Stampede. Also, he had used much of his wealth to help others. In World War I, he shipped 2,000 tons of pork to troops overseas in France. After, he stepped in to help Belgium with their meat supply. Patrick supported many Catholic churches, children's charities, and even contributed to the creation of what is now Western Canada High School. On his 75th birthday, he celebrated by giving a £5 roast and meal ticket to any restaurant in the city to every family in which the head of the house was unemployed and/or single. That same year, his close friend R.B. Bennett appointed him to the Canadian Senate to represent the senatorial division of Northern Alberta. Prime Minister Bennett had this to say about him: "Holding your wealth as a trust, you have given generously to every good cause, and your life has been an inspiration to the younger generation." Because of Senator Patrick Burns, the transition from cowboys to entrepreneurs had been possible. Our history was not decided, but written by people like Burns. The Calgary Stampede represents what all Calgarians, past and present, value: the pride of our city and people. The history of Calgary is preserved and remembered through the greatest outdoor show on earth. Today, people from all over the globe visit Calgary to experience our Western hospitality. What I can learn from his story is that giving truly is better than receiving. In my community, I can strive for excellence by being diligent in order to become successful. Like Patrick, I will acknowledge my strengths and weaknesses so that I can work my way up in life. I can volunteer at various community events at my school and even do my part by helping with small tasks that can be very impactful and essential to getting the big picture done. Patrick Burns started off as a humble farmer boy and by the Great War transformed into one of Canada's most successful businessmen. His risk-taking, hard work, and generosity had helped mold him into a great man, a champion. Burns proves that one man can impact an entire society and assist in helping both the city and the people reach their full potential.